Okay, so right, the first podcast for today is going to be about Salah and Mane. Obviously, you guys saw Twitter today, and it was all going crazy about how Salah doesn't pass to Mane. If Salah would pass to Mane, we'd win about 4 titles. I don't know if you heard that weird guy on Sky
Yeah,
Sports.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd just bring up these stats then. Since Mo Salah joined the Premier League in the 17-18 season, he is ranked the most to have created the biggest chances, 44. He's first in the team. Expected assists, first. Assists in general, 28, first. Shot creating actions, first. Goal creating actions, first. And chances created, he's second. So I can't for the life of me understand where this whole narrative of Mo Salah doesn't pass to anyone comes from. Where do you guys think it comes from?
Um,
From what I've seen. Oh, okay. No, Katie, you can go first.
oh, for me, uh, I think it started when Money had Money threw a little tantrum. I think it was during the Burnley game in
Yeah,
1920
yeah.
away. Yes, and we were 3-0 up, and then yeah, I agree with the fact that Salah should have passed to him there, but I
Mm.
don't think the tantrum was necessary. So I think since then people started the narrative that Salah didn't pass to Mane, blah blah.
Right,
Until now, the
cool.
narrative keeps them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where it came from, and everyone saw that video, and everyone always does get a little bit interested when two players of the same team are fighting. So when people saw that incident, they're like, "Oh yeah, that is true. Salah doesn't pass to Mane." What about you, Uno?
Um, uh, I was gonna say it is based on
Mm,
that video, or not video, sorry, that game. But
mm,
like one thing that I noticed about the media and um football Twitter and all that stuff is
mm,
the moment that a narrative is started, basically, literally, if just one thing has been made about a player, then people watch every single game just to point out that this
mm,
thing happened. So there are times where Salah will sh- decide to shoot himself instead of
mm,
passing it,
mm,
and then most of the times he ends up scoring anyways. So people do not look at that, but the moment that he doesn't pass and then he doesn't score it, then it's a whole big thing now. So that's just how football Twitter is, or how the media is. They just like feeding into a narrative. It is just what it is. And the moment that a big platform, or like a an account with a big following, creates this narrative, then all the followers start grabbing onto it, and then they watch this game and they see it, and then they like, okay, yeah, it is true. So it just becomes a thing.
I completely agree with that. I mean, I think it's the agenda, and people just run with it when they see someone saying it, and you can see it in some games,
Hmm.
and people would just run with that agenda.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah,
personally, I think when Salah doesn't pass the ball and when that gets highlighted, sometimes he doesn't do it in the most crucial moments. And I think because that moment
hmm,
was so crucial and he didn't pass in that moment, that is why it gets so highlighted and made bigger than it is. When in the same game he could have created a bunch of chances from like Mane and Bobby who would miss those chances.
yeah.
But because he didn't pass at
But
one
do you know?
crucial moment,
Hmm.
that's what gets highlighted.
Yeah,
Sorry, what were you going to say?
yeah. Like what's so stupid about this thing is that every attacker does it, every forward. Why
Mm,
do they expect Salah to be the only attacker that has
mm,
to not be selfish? I mean, he's a striker at the end of the day. His primary focus is to score goals, and if he feels like I can do this, and he decides to shoot himself, whether it creates a goal or whether it results in a goal or not, it
mm,
doesn't matter. He is allowed to make such decisions. That is his role.
exactly. That's a striker's role. I mean, you see Harry Kane doing that. You see Sterling. You see Rashford doing that a lot in other teams, but they don't get as highlighted as in the media as much as Mo Salah does. Like Graham Souness will randomly talk about how greedy Salah is when he wasn't being greedy at all in the game that he's analysing is ridiculous at this point. I've just picked out some tweets actually from Twitter, which I actually wanted to share with you guys. So I saw this one underneath that video. Here, this is a Man City fan, yeah? I don't want to call anyone out, but I'm sure they don't mind. Salah literally created most of your chances, lol. Like that's a Man City fan saying that. How can a Man City fan know that and not this guy who's potentially a Liverpool fan? And then there was another one that I wanted to point out because this is really showing the hypocrisy when it comes to Mane and Salah, the double standards. So here, Salah, his assists 31 to Mane's 18, big chances creating 49 to Mane's 33, through balls 49 to Mane's 30, and crosses. That's a big difference there. 209 to Mane's 166. So this false narrative is just getting out of hand, and it's just showing the double standards. I think people measure Salah to a different standard to Mane, and I don't really see why. And there was
they do.
just one more tweet that I had saved. So here, this is what I don't like either about the whole being substituted thing, where Salah is literally, he gets grilled by the fan base for being upset that he got subbed off. Here, Trent was being subbed off. No one really said anything about this, about his mentality here. And then James Milner again, he was really showing how angry he was at the manager himself. Like he was looking at him.
That was worse.
Exactly.
They actually had a little argument.
They did, and no one said anything. It was a barrel of laughs afterwards. And then here's what I don't really like, because it is always about Mane and Salah. Mane got angry here, and again, people were sympathizing with him. They were upset for him because they wanted him to stay on and score goals. I wanted that for him. It's not a bad thing. This whole being angry and wanting to stay on the pitch. I don't see that as a bad thing. It's the double standards that I don't like. And I think someone tweeted that as well earlier. They said that. So fine, you're angry, that's fine, but why is it that the reaction is different for Mane than it is for Salah?
For me, I remember watching Monday Night Football featuring Carragher and Neville. And there was one when Gary Neville mentioned that Salah and Mane reminds me of Ronaldo and Rooney during Manchester United days. When Ronaldo became the superstar of the team, and he doesn't really portray himself as a team player, while Rooney, on the other hand, Rooney is very likable and is portrayed more as a team player. And I think that this comparison is very similar to Mane and Salah, where Salah is not portrayed as a team player. He is called selfish and wants goals for himself, while Mane, on the other hand, people see him as a team player more, that seems more likable maybe. So I think it's I was very amused when I saw that comparison, because I think, that's actually what's happening right now. So I think that Mane being more team player makes certain Liverpool fans like him more.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Una, did you want to add anything to that?
Well, I just wanted to say, this is a bit controversial, but I don't think Mane is a team player per se. I mean, he does help the team in his defensive play and stuff like that. But when it comes to goals and stuff, I think he's more of he's the selfish one, to be fair.
You've seen that a lot.
That's just from my perspective.
Sorry.
I think Mane and Salah are actually very similar.
Yeah, going forward in front
They
of
are. Yeah.
100%.
So I don't get why the narrative that Mane is a team player and Salah is not is being pushed when I think they're both very similar.
Very similar
Yeah.
front of goal, very selfish as well. Mane can be. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. I mean, like you guys said, that's how we know that we have top players. The fact that we know that our forwards are selfish in front of goal and they want to score. They want to score to help the team. It's not like they go for individual accolades or anything. I mean, if it comes with a golden boot, then yay for them. But the fact that we have such players with such mentalities, I love it. I love both of them. And we should really just stop with this thing of this person is selfish, this one is not, and this is better and this is not, and things like that. I just don't like it. Why can't we just appreciate both of them and actually measure them to the same standard and not try to be not hypocritical, but it, yeah, when it comes to the one. So yeah.
Funny you should mention that. Like, I love the competition between the two players in our team. That just means that we're very hungry for everything and we're being successful. And that was a good point, that it should be a healthy competition, but right now it's looking very toxic, or the media are portraying it to be toxic. So what's the
Yeah.
difference then
Yeah.
between the Trent and Robertson rivalry or healthy competition? That one always seems to be a happy one, whereas this one is dressed up in toxicity. What's the difference there?
That's actually a very good point, Hatia. Wow. I didn't think of it that way.
I think Trent and Robo, they both acknowledge the fact that they push each other with the competition. Well, I don't think Mane and Salah ever acknowledge them seeing themselves as rivals or pushing each other. Have they? No, right?
No,
I don't think
they don't
they
push each other.
Mm.
yeah.
They don't
So
get a buzz of.
Trent
Sorry.
Trent and Robo like are more friendly in front of cameras and in social media. So yeah, I think that's why it does. Their competition isn't portrayed as rivals such as Salah and Mane's.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys, what do you think the Mole and Sadio relationship is like behind closed door, behind the cameras and all of that? What do you think it's like?
Can I go first? Because
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about it earlier today. Remember how the club made this Betsy's video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they had Sadio and Mo as Betsy's. So is it Betsy's or Betsy's? I don't know how to say it. It's
Busy, I think.
Muskaus. I'm not
Yeah.
busy. Is it okay? The busy because in my country it sort of sounds like it's so it's like Betsy. But in any case,
Right,
yeah. So they made the Betsy's video for both of them. So I was thinking clearly they have a good relationship. They're not. I've never seen them be the best of friends, but it seems like that they have this mutual respect for one another, and they have this um sort of a bond. They know that they both are good players. They know that they are obviously the face of Liverpool's attack. So I don't know. I from what I've seen, they seem to just have a respectful relationship between them, and they don't look like they have any issues. And I mean, why do people act as if siblings don't fight when when they disagree,
yeah.
so
That's
The
true.
way
that's just how I see it.
the way I see it is they're work colleagues. So like when I go to
Mm,
work, I don't look at my work colleagues as friends per se. Like, I don't look at them and think, oh, let's hang out, this and that. I don't hate them though. They're just work colleagues to me, and we do our jobs together and we work together. And I like them as
mhm.
much as I can like them, but as work colleagues, I won't see them outside of the work environment. Thing is, Mane and Salah, they don't have to be friends. They don't. They just have to be out there doing their jobs together and working together in that moment. They don't have to absolutely love each other and be huggy and all of that stuff. I don't expect
Exactly.
that from them. So their whole toxic relationship, this and that, it gets blown out of proportion by the media because they want something to talk about, they want something to write about. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Katie, where you go?
Okay. Yeah, I think the media absolutely loves this kind of controversies. It's not even a controversy actually, but they just push the narrative about Salah and Mane being rivals, and they know those kind of headlines will grab attention. So they keep on fueling the fire into that topic, and it becomes out of hand when actually it isn't even a big deal for me.
And just adding to that,
Yeah.
do you think how do you think they're perceived in the fan base, both Salah and Mane? You guys spoke about how Mane seems like the friendlier, more team player kind of guy, even though in some instances he's not. Do you think then that what is it about Salah that makes him have more criticism? Like, you could argue that he doesn't seem like he loves the players, but I don't see that. I see him smiling, I see him hugging the players all the time. It's not very different from Mane, like we were saying earlier. Why is it that Salah gets more criticism?
For me, I think Salah doesn't show as much of a personality as Mane does, and that is probably why people tend to like Mane more. But if I had to look at the person that Salah portrays himself to be, it's just he gives off, which is not a bad thing. I love it. I love him, which just gives off this thing of it's. I don't want to say it's arrogance because it's just confidence in his
Yeah, he has
abilities. You know.
It's confident.
right. Yes.
Sorry, Katie.
Yeah. So he. Yeah. Yeah. So he just gives off that, and even in his interviews, he tends to say things like, for example, that I was it before the Champions League final where he said Kane was the best goal scorer or something like that until he came into the Premier League, something like that. So things like that, which like I said, I don't have a problem with. I like that. I like his winner mentality, his ambition. I love it. So I guess it just puts off people. People like the friendly guy, the one who is good, but also not or as sort of humble. But Mane is not necessarily. He is confident as well. He does show his confidence. I don't get it. I don't get this whole thing how our fans take Salah and Mane and why they have a a favorite between the two.
Speaking about Salah's attitude in interviews, a lot of the times he would say this sort of arrogant, kind of cocky vibe to himself, but a lot of the times I think he says it in a joking way because he will follow it up with a nah, but it's always about the team. That's the most important thing. That's his favorite phrase. He will say it's always about the team, but he will be cocky here and there, but he does follow it up with a no. But in all jokes aside, it is about the team. So yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something before. Sorry, it's gone now. Katie, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's really disheartening to see even Liverpool fan base comparing and even bringing down one to praise the other. I think it's been a while since we have such world class players gathered in the same squad. So I don't get why the obsession to compare them and to bring one down and praise the other. I think we should just all appreciate this squad that we have now. And I'm pretty sure we don't have much time left with this squad. They're going to live one by one. So yeah, I think all these narratives, especially within our fan base, should really stop.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not even about what rival fans are saying. It's really what the Liverpool fan base are saying. One last thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of this conversation. I feel like Graham seeing it. It's like I don't like the guy. He does my head in because of his Salah agenda. Because sorry if you can hear crying in the background, but he has this weird thing where he always talks about Salah being greedy in every match analysis here and there, and I just don't know why. Like in that one match, I can't remember which it was. I think it was Tottenham actually. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, he was talking about Salah being greedy. Salah was not at all greedy in that game. Like not once was he greedy. So why is it that these people are getting a platform to speak like ex-footballers? Why are they doing this? And this morning with the clip from Sky Sports with the four with chunks and all of that. Why are these people who clearly don't watch a game of a Liverpool game are getting the platform to do this?
Yeah.
To run with the Salah agenda.
It's so weird how they say those things without even. I don't think they even watch Liverpool games to say those
So
things.
yeah, so why is it that they've got the platform if they have zero football knowledge?
Especially pundits and ex players. I honestly, you would expect more from them because they've been in the game. But I
Exactly.
just don't get it. Especially Graham Souness, and even this morning I saw John Arnery say it's weird that most of our ex Liverpool players are saying this to our club's current one of our club's current best player right now. So it's just weird. Why are they saying all this stuff to him?
That's interesting that you would say this, Katie, actually, because you talk about ex-Liverpool players talking crazy about our current Liverpool players. If they were still players, would they be talking about Salah and Mane like this? Would they?
No.
They wouldn't.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
media.
It's,
It's the
I
media.
really don't get.
Yeah.
I noticed most of them tends to nitpick our current squad players for no reason. Yeah, I just get frustrated whenever I see articles about our ex players saying like, "Oh, Salah is selfish. No, we should sell this. We should sell that. Blah blah." Like, why? Why are you coming out saying those things?
Yes. And the last thing, and this is regarding the Athletic, by the way. I don't know if you guys read that. I personally don't. I only see the headlines. But just before this pod actually we started, they tweeted something about Thiago, who is another target.
Again.
Yes, another target for them, and it's titled Thiago Alcantara is struggling to adapt Jurgen Klopp's counter-pressing demands. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you agree with that? I mean, you can see people's opinions here.
First of all, we haven't been counter pressing in a long time.
Yeah.
So if Thiago is the one that hasn't adapted, then what about the rest of the team?
Exactly.
I don't get it. The last time I saw us actually proper counter press was it the Arsenal game? Yeah, I think that's the last time that I remember, okay, everybody in the team is counter pressing. But recent times I haven't seen it. So why is the blame on Thiago?
I don't know. I'm
Exactly.
asking you guys.
Actually, if you notice in Bayern games, from the Thiago's last season, they actually play a lot of counter pressing as well. So I don't get why the narrative that Thiago wouldn't suit our team, because Bayern actually plays quite a similar counter pressing system to Liverpool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you look, if you watch, obviously we didn't do that much counter pressing against Leipzig. I think unless we did, I can't remember. I think
We did a bit
the
actually.
first leg we did a lot. I remember that. But I feel like we in the second leg, when he had Fabinho next to him, Fabinho was able to sweep up all of that stuff so that the ball never left midfield, to the point that Thiago had more license to go forward. And Thiago can't do any bicycle kicks when he was when Fabinho was missing and he's had to be a lot deeper. He can't do bicycle kicks there.
Yeah.
But he was able to do it with Fabinho in midfield.
And
I think
and he was playing so conservative with
Mm,
Fabinho as well. Now you could actually see he was trying risky things, you know?
yeah, true. Thiago always works best with a defensive midfielder behind him. Like
exactly.
even in Bayern, he's the best when he have a proper someone to back him up in midfield, so that he could push
Yeah.
forward and try these risky passes.
And we were wondering, where are his creative passes? Well, he doesn't have a defensive midfielder to help him up defensively. That midfield prior to the Leipzig game, what was it? Thiago, Gini, and Jones.
Yes.
Absolutely
Jones. No
imbalanced.
DM.
The balance of that
Yeah.
midfield was all over the place. And now,
That's true.
Mhm.
Fabinho, Thiago, Gini, beautiful midfield. You can add Cater into that.
Yeah.
So we just really needed. I think Fabinho in midfield was just the key, and it unlocked Thiago. It also
Mm.
unlocked Genie for me.
Yeah, it did.
That-
Sorry, go on. Sorry, you're gonna say something.
Well, Katie.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, that's true. Also, Fabinho in midfield helps the high line a lot, actually.
Mm,
They didn't
Mhm.
appear as much vulnerable as they used to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll talk about this more in our next podcast, as we have only got 1 minute left. So thank you for joining me on this show. It was nice to clear up the whole Salah Mane thing and what your opinions are. And in the
Yeah.
end, they're both amazing players, and I think people should just stop comparing now. It's getting tiring, it's getting boring, and the narrative overall in general is just not true now. So we move, people. Thank you.
We
Thank you.
move.
Yeah.